We're going to bring Tim Couch in here, and as always, Tim Couch is brought to us by FanDuel. As the NFL regular season wraps up, there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed just by placing a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose for new customers. The app is easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, including live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the Explorer tab. You can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, which is the best way to find popular parlays, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And Jason, you talked about punching people in the locker room. We know nobody was messing with Tim Couch back in the day. That's a fact.
Hell, he could walk into the Browns locker room today and no one's messing with him.
Yeah. The story I'm referring to is between Tim and now. It's not that.
Also, Tim could corroborate the story.
No, he's saying it happened between.
I think it was after Tim. It was after Tim.
I was going to say, it sounds like something happened on one of the teams I played on for sure. But
do you have any crazy?
There's not a lot of happy players in that locker room.
Were there any instances in Cleveland where you had to step in and break something up, or anything that? You don't have to name names, but
you got to name
anything
names.
you'd like to share?
Yeah. I remember one fight in the locker room. It was between a wide receiver and a defensive back, both starters on our team. That I think it was a playoff team we went to, and it was after a practice. There was some jawing going on out on the field. We get back in the locker room, and it turned into a full-out brawl, fist fight. And it took a few of us to help separate that fight. But those things kind of happen. Especially when you're not winning games and there's not a lot of happy players in the locker room.
An hour before the season opener, a defensive back punched an offensive lineman over music. An hour before the season opener.
Music was always
never a good sign.
Was a big deal in the Indians locker room in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Albert Bell was very specific about what kind of music he wanted and didn't want played in the clubhouse.
Defensive back punching an offensive lineman does not seem like a smart move.
But what's he going to do? You're an hour before the game. You can't kill the guy. He needs him on the field. But Tim, music can be a big deal in that locker room.
It's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal in the weight room when you're in there training, and certain guys want to listen to a certain type of music, and I've seen some arguments in the weight room as well over music for sure.
Man, that sucks, man. That's terrible. We were so bad, Tim. Our coach used to come in and tell us, guys, we need to pray and get ready. Turn that music off.
Gospel music.
I said we in here praying to God. Before the kickoff, it's a rap.
He made you listen to gospel music.
I went out there, Urban Meyer put 72 on us at Bowling Green. 72, we there praying before the game.
Hey, Tim, yesterday we talked about chemistry and how that's it's an unmeasurable ingredient. You can't buy it. You can't force it. It happens organically. You've played on teams that were good. You've played on teams that were bad. Talk a little bit about, does the media make more of that than what it really is? How important is chemistry? Can it, what is its ultimate impact on a team?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I mean, each year is different. Each team is going to be different as far as chemistry goes, and how the players get along in the locker room, like we've talked about. Is there fighting going on? Is there a lot of bickering going on out on the field, finger pointing, those kind of things? So when the chemistry is right on a team, it's just one of those kind of feelings that no matter what's going on in a game, kind of the ups and the downs. We had a turnover. The defense isn't playing well. The offense isn't playing well. Nothing really rattles a team that has good chemistry because they believe in each other and they're going to figure it out together. They're going to find a way to win games. And I think that's what this team this year has really done. And they've shown no matter who's the quarterback, it doesn't matter if we've started 4 quarterbacks, our best player, Nick Chubb, has been out for the season. We've lost offensive linemen. We have so much chemistry on this team that they just find different ways to continue to win football games, and that's what's been most impressive to me this season.
Tim, I said earlier there's 2 reasons why you would start Jeff Driscoll. Either you're trying to protect P.J. Walker and make sure both your quarterbacks are healthy going to the playoffs, or what I believe, you want to see if Jeff Driscoll can replace P.J. Walker as your backup quarterback. Is that insane to think that one start in Week 18 could be enough to leapfrog P? I just don't think that Kevin has any faith in P.J. Walker because he's a turnover machine. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying how important do you think this game is for Jeff Driscoll and the Browns against the Bengals.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. I don't think there's a lot of faith in P.J. Walker. I think, just watching when he was in the lineup, the offense was very scaled down. They were trying to, not put him in a lot of positions to where he, had to do too much. They weren't asking him to do a whole lot out there. So for a guy like Jeff Driscoll to come in and get a start in the last week of the season like this, I think you want to see what's there. Jeff is a guy that's bounced around the league. I think this is maybe his 7th team or so that he's been on so far in his career. And I remember watching Jeff when he was in college at Florida, and a very good player, a very good athlete. I think he's a lot faster than people probably realize. I think, he was probably a 4.5, 4.6 guy. He can really run the football. He's a big, strong, physical guy. He's got a strong arm. There's some skill set there that you like. I think he's a capable backup. So hopefully he can get acclimated to the offense quickly and go out there and have a good performance and take advantage of this opportunity that he has to start a football game for a playoff team.
Tim, guys around here is getting excited. There's been a very few seasons where the Browns, you could say Super Bowl without people laughing or saying lack thereof.
Right.
They haven't been there. As far as a former player, I've always wondered this. How locked in are you, just as a former player playing for the Browns in terms of rooting for the team, watching the team? And do you go through like a life cycle, right? Like, is there a part where when you stop playing for the team, you're like, man, I kind of don't like them. These are my exes. Then you go through another cycle where it's like, oh, okay, I can finally watch them on TV a little bit. And then, you come full circle and you find yourself rooting for them with like, maybe a brown shirt or hat in your house. Where are you in that cycle?
I think I've went through them all, like you mentioned. When I first got released by the team, I definitely had that. I don't want to watch these guys. I don't want anything to do with them. I kind of felt like they didn't give me a fair deal there, considering what all I went through with the expansion team and those kind of things. And then just coming off a playoff year and, broken leg that I didn't get to play in the playoff game and some things like that happened. So I was certainly bitter for a year or two. But once my career was over and just started watching games as a fan, I quickly became a fan of the Browns again. And, just very appreciative of the opportunity that I had to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, be a number 1 draft pick, and realize so many dreams that they made possible for me. And, it changed my life. It changed my family's life and the opportunity they gave me. So I'm a huge Browns fan. I pull for them every week. I watch every game. Certainly, we've got my Browns gear on, watching the games every Sunday. And, but I definitely went through that cycle where I wasn't a big fan for a while, but now I'm fully on board and behind these guys and would love to see them make a great run in the playoffs.
It's amazing. I was just looking at the stats from that playoff game in 2002, and obviously Kelly Holcomb threw for a ton of yardage in that game. But the running game,
right.
William Green carried 25 times for 30 yards.
Dang. Jeez.
Yeah.
And as a whole, it was 28 carries total by the team for 38 yards. So he wasn't getting any help on the ground. But, Tim, obviously you were hurt, as you said, but that was the last year that the Browns played a playoff game in front of fans, because the only time you've been to the playoffs since then, 2020, and obviously It was COVID. So, fans are not used to this. The Browns haven't played a playoff game in front of fans in over 2 decades. That's crazy. But exciting.
That is crazy. It's very exciting. I can't believe it's just the 3rd time since '99 this team has been to the playoffs, and it's a great thing. I think it's exciting for the city to have a team that's competitive and in the playoffs, and it's an awesome thing to go into the last week of the season and not having to have the pressure and to win this game and you're in, or though you have to have somebody lose or whatever the situation may be. This team has earned its right to be in the playoffs. They can relax and rest their starters and get as healthy and fresh as possible going into that first week of the playoffs. So it's super exciting as fans to have an opportunity like this, have a team like this who's just been resilient all season long. And, I'm excited for Joe Flacco. I'm excited for what he's brought to the city, what he's brought to this football team and energized this team. And I think they have a real chance. I really do. I'm excited about what they can do with this defense in the playoffs. Defense wins games in playoffs, and the way Joe's been playing, he's putting up over 300 yards each game. And it's, when you can do that, you play defense like that, you got a quarterback who's making big plays in the passing game. You always have a chance to win these playoff games, and certainly the Browns have a great opportunity ahead of them.
It feels like a magic carpet ride. It really does. And I on one hand, I don't, like G. Bush keeps saying, hey, man, just relax and enjoy it. But on the other hand, I'm a Browns fan, and I'm waiting for that shoe to fall and hit me in the head. How long can Flacco sustain this incredible play. Is this something that he can take all the way through the playoffs? Because once you get there, as you know, the games get tougher as they go along.
Right. Jay, I'll be honest, he's already played, well for longer than I thought he would. I thought Joe was going to be a guy that could come in and give you maybe a game or two where he could, put up some big numbers, but I thought he's going to kind of be just kind of a game manager type of guy at this age, this stage in his career, where they, and obviously just getting to the team, and starting right away. He didn't really know the players, didn't know the playbook, didn't know the system. I thought they would just kind of ease him into this thing, and they've kind of just opened it wide up for Joe and said, this is your offense, go with it. And he's making plays, pushing the football down the field, making big plays in the passing game. So he's already played much better and exceeded all expectations that I had for him. So I'm fully on board on the Joe Flacco train, man. I think he can run this thing all the way through the playoffs. And I don't think if the Browns lose a playoff game, I don't think it's going to be because of Joe Flacco and the quarterback play. I think that maybe someone outplays them or whatever, but I think Joe's going to give this football team an opportunity to win games. He's going to, like I said, he's going to make the big plays in the passing game, and hopefully the defense can play like they have all season, and the Browns will certainly have a chance against anyone they go up against.